You're listening to Affected by Altitude, a Colorado Rockies podcast for and by Rockies fans on Rocky Mountain Rooftop. Thank you for joining us as we discuss all things baseball and Colorado Rockies. Hello and welcome to Affected by Altitude. This is a Rooftop Mingle session here on Rocky Mountain Rooftop. Evan Lang, Skyler Timmons, and today we are joined by a very special guest. It is your center fielder for the AAA Albuquerque Isotopes and Colorado Rockies draft pick out of the University of Washington, Braiden Ward. Braiden, thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Happy to have you. Braiden, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster for a season for you. You got called up here to AAA a couple weeks ago, and honestly, you've been kind of lighting on fire since you got here. And might as well just start it off with, how are you feeling so far in Albuquerque?
It's Albuquerque sweet. It's an older group. The vibes are great. You know, they let you kind of play how you play and how you want to play. It's one of those things where, you get to this level and they expect you to know your skill and know your game, and they expect you to play how you play. And if you don't, see ya. So I just got to buy into my role, and I feel like I'm doing that pretty well.
Yeah, so far playing mostly center field, kind of made a name for yourself early in your minor league career, and a little bit at the University of Washington for your ability to play pretty much everywhere, that sort of super utility role. But this year especially, you've had a lot more of that defined outfield, especially center field, but a lot more of that defined outfield role. And is that something that you're more comfortable with doing, is just being in one defined spot, or would you even more prefer to just be sort of bouncing around? Because sometimes you hear from utility guys, and they're like, I want to play everywhere, I want to do everything. And then other guys are like, I want to have my one job and I'll do everything else, but I've got a preference.
I mean, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get in the line. If you need me to play the corners, to play center, to play second, heck, I'll play first. I'll catch for you if you need. But, especially to get to Denver, I mean, well, who's our center fielder right now, Two-time Gold Glover Brenton Doyle, probably not going to play there, so you got to be comfortable everywhere else.
Yeah, and that's something that we look across the Rockies organization. So many outfielders, but we've seen this year at the big league level, it's kind of become a revolving door of mixing and matching with guys. And so how does that go into just being prepared, depending on being ready to play any of those three outfield positions?
Well, especially to be in Denver, in Albuquerque, with altitude, it's the biggest outfield in the bigs. It's pretty much the biggest outfield in AAA. So being able to be comfortable to play all three, and just not having a weakness per se or a kryptonite of being in the outfield, you got to be able to play everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There can't be a reason you shouldn't be in the lineup. You want to be able to be in the lineup whether you're hitting or not. I've always wanted to be a guy that, if the pitchers had to pick who they want in the outfield or who they want on defense, I'm penciled in there, regardless of what I'm doing at the plate. So defense is a big part of my skill set of who I want to be. And so I take pride in that, work at it.
What is something that you do, if anything, to sort of adjust for playing in such a large outfield in AAA, preparing to play in such a large outfield in Denver, especially at altitude? I remember Brenton Doyle, his rookie season, talked about he lost something like 20 pounds just running around out there in center field because it's so big and you're exerting yourself so much more. What do you do to prepare yourself for that? Because Albuquerque, the altitude is very similar, and like you mentioned, the outfield is very large as well.
I mean, I've only been here a month, so I'm still trying to figure that out for myself, but definitely hydrating nonstop, getting plenty of water, talking to Mason, who's our strength coach, about, how to maintain weight, how to keep it going, and, getting adjusted to like that. Like I said, you run in from center field to go lead off. I mean, you're exhausted coming from center. So being able to just stay in shape and breathe. And I remember when I first got here, Trevor Boone, who I'm really good friends with, was like, hey man, make sure you really focus on breathing in through your nose, out your mouth, and don't take this stuff for granted, because it matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was looking at kind of that background back in college, seeing on your profile here, you wanted a career in sports medicine. How does kind of that background of that knowledge, help you with that prep? and making sure you're at the top of your game physically and type of thing.
I wanted to do sports medicine, but then I realized that school was really hard doing sports full time, so I kind of bailed on that and got political science. But I feel like when, kind of like everyone here, if you've been in this game, like as long as I have, as long as everyone on this team, for the last 8 years, you get told, what's good for you, what's bad for you, what your teammates are doing, what works, what doesn't work, what's really important, and so you kind of develop your own sense of what you need and what your body, what it's telling you, and how to recover and give it what it needs. So definitely, like I said, as you get older, listening to your body and you're sore, take an ice bath. You're hungry at night, you're losing weight. Like make sure you get like a really midnight snack before you go to bed, and just give your body, like I said, time to recover. Because you might, over the season, your body starts to do stuff. It starts to, I like to say, do things to compensate for what it's going through without you realizing it, because you do it so often. So, like I said, getting to help it out before you finally like feel it is really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it kind of dovetail off of that. Something I noticed that's a really big key for you is just you're one of the speedy boys in the organization, really fast on the base paths, a lot of stolen bases, and how much. Take us through that into that world of just being an elite base stealer, and how that mentality of stealing bases, because it truly is an art, and being able to swipe bags.
I tell people it's like to me it's just like my swing. I have a technique. I have stuff that I look for. You're constantly going until you're not. Kind of like hitting is yes, 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 no. Stealing is yes, 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 no. But it's as you get older and you get into this game, like I said, you see more moves, you see tells that pitchers have. But at the same time, one of the most important things is, like I said, I'm constantly trying to go, but at the same time, I don't really want to fake steal anymore, because you have Zach Veen behind me, or that's the first person I thought of, or anyone behind you. They're going to take for you. You know what I mean? They're going to take a strike if you're stealing, and you don't want to fake steal, have them take a cookie, and then you feel like you put them behind the count, and then they're not going to get mad at you, but they're going to get mad at you. So being able to, like I said, steal within the first two pitches and do what I'm supposed to do while also not, affecting my the guy behind me is really important. But on the other side is, being able to steal and have everyone know that you're going to steal is a lot of fun. And like I said, being able to go out there and affect the game without even affecting the game, having the pitcher think about you more than even the hitter. So then, maybe you're not stealing because maybe you don't want to steal. It's a good time to sit back because maybe they're throwing balls, or maybe he's focused on you, so now he's hanging something, and then 2-run shot later. It's a game within the game. A lot of times you need it, and sometimes, like I said, you gotta pump the brakes and let the boys hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Braiden, just talking a little bit more about your teammates, want to help out your teammates. Something that I find really interesting is a lot of these guys in Albuquerque are guys you've played with before throughout your minor league journey. You've played with Kyle Karros in Hartford. I believe you also played with Adel Amador in Hartford. Just a bunch of the guys on this Topes roster are guys that you've come up with through the minors. So how important is that in terms of not only team chemistry, but overall just the mindset that it brings at that level?
Yeah, getting to know how the guys play, and getting to have years of who has a good eye, who's going to chase, what's this guy trying to do? Is he really a guy that's trying to, let's say I'm on second base, he's trying to shoot the 4-hole to score you, or he's trying to put it in the gap, and you kind of get a sense what the pitcher's trying to do. Is he trying to bounce something so you can get it, or is he trying to beat you up? And so really knowing how the boys play and getting to really just learn how the team plays is just really important. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's about scoring runs. That's the most important thing. It's whoever scores the most run wins. That's the bottom line. And so that's the whole goal. And I just got to do whatever I can do to not only put myself in a position to score, but help my teammates get put in a position or a better position to score.
Yeah, that's straight. Looking throughout your minor league career, that's something you've done. You get on base and you come around and you score runs for these guys, and it helps when you can turn a walk into a double, you can turn a single into a triple type thing. That is huge, and so that's something that I've liked watching. Looking at your sets, just following you along in your minor league journey is you love those late round picks. No, a 16th round pick. You guys sometimes get forgotten, but it's even then you've been able to still stand out because of these awesome tools that you bring to the table. That then has you at this highest level now, which is really cool, and I really like that journey that you've been on.
Well, you know, as a 16th round pick, especially like a lot of the later guys, like, yeah, there's some guys that do really good, but at the same time, you know, I'm not. It's one of those things you weren't expected much. You're not a first rounder. You watch the first rounders in front of you, which I get it. It's a business. You see them get more opportunities than you, which you know can hurt you and hurt your mental health. Or what are you going to do? You're going to take advantage of all the opportunities you can get. You know, I don't have the luxury of being able to take a day off or not being able to try, or, you know, being in the outfield, like during BP, you know, not catching or not actually practicing or stuff. Like, I got to try every day. I got to be the best version of myself, because the moment I stop being who I am is the moment I'm out of this game. You know, I'm not a guy who can just go up to the plate like Keel and just hit a homer whenever I want. You know, I gotta get on base, whether it's, you know, taking 98 off the elbow, or, you know, working a walk or bunting or doing whatever I can to, you know, get on to score. And like I said, the moment I stop doing that is the moment I get a 9 to 5. So that's why, you know, stealing is very important. Defense is very important. Being able to get on base is very important. And, you know, as a 16th round pick who signed for a Chick-fil-A sandwich, you know, you really gotta get out there, you know, and not only, you know, be as good as the guy in front of you, gotta be better. You know, I can't be like, I've always said this too, especially with like I said, teammates growing up. You know, obviously, like, you have guys like who are in front of me, like Betty Montgomery, Zach Fiend, great players. But, you know, I feel like some people can get into this headspace where it's like, well, I kind of hope they suck, so, you know, I can get more playing time. But at the same time, like, that's a terrible mindset. I've always had the mindset of, if I'm going to make it, it's because I'm good enough. You know what I mean? If I'm not good enough, they're just going to find someone else.
Yeah.
You know?
And honestly, I was going to ask something kind of similar. Not of course going to ask, oh, are you hoping these other guys fail? But more of, as in, you know, older draft pick, as a later round draft pick, despite the fact that you've done fairly well for yourself at pretty much every level of play so far in your professional career, the Rockies have just had so many outfielders and so many prospects that it's hard to push yourself up and make a name for yourself. Yet you've now made it all the way up to the cusp of the major leagues. You made it all the way to AAA, hitting well in AAA, but hitting well at sort of every stop along the way. So even if your journey may have been a little bit slower than you might have wanted, just due to the glut of outfielders the Rockies have, it's how important is it knowing that you've put in the time, you've put in the grind, and now you've made it this far? Because we know that your kind of skill set. I mean, look at Tyler Freeman playing right field for the Rockies right now. We know that skill set of maybe not a ton of pop, but get on base and things will happen. That plays.
No, it absolutely plays. It's one of those things where, you know, maybe my path isn't with the Rockies. You know, I pray it is. I love this organization. I love the teammates. I love Denver. Love the color purple. Go Dogs. But like I said, at the end of the day, you know, next year, after, if I have another good year, you know, who's to say I don't, you know, sign with someone else that's going to give me a chance and get me up there? Who's to say I don't get a chance this year? You know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm just thinking about today's game. You know, sure, you'll go 2 for 4, you'll go 3 for 4, you'll go 0 for 5, and you'll think, you know, oh, send me up, I want to go up. Don't worry about it. Worry about yourself right now. I'm worried about the Isotopes. I'm worried about winning. I'm worried about making my teammates better, making myself better. And if I do what I'm supposed to do, I'll get rewarded one day.
Yeah, and that's that beauty of baseball, where the talent, or the Macho Man always said, the cream always rises to the top.
Mm-hmm.
No, and we just seen it with one of your teammates, Dugan Darnell, who just recently got called up to the big leagues, had a crazy first couple of days. You know, the talent always rises to the top, which is cool to see. And
well, it's funny too, because
and even
I've always talked to the farm director and stuff, like Forbesy and even like a bunch of the like Pilo and stuff, and they're always like, man, like, obviously the Rockies are in a rebuild, and I think we're actually we're doing some cool stuff right now. I mean, we've been winning a lot more games. That the young guys are finally getting the opportunity to get their feet wet, and they're finally starting to soar. And so who's to say next year, isn't the year that actually like we surprise the world? But they tell me like, man, if we were a little bit competitive, you'd probably be in Denver already, just running around playing defense for a postseason opportunity. And I'm like, I wish we were there. But like I said, who's to say next year that doesn't happen? Like I said, we could shock the world, and I think our hitting's been turning around. Our pitching is on the up and up with all these young guys. I'm excited. I'm excited. Hopefully, we finish strong this year. And just like I said, we'll be on pace for 30 games, and we've been just killing it at least the last 10 games. So it's been fun to see.
Yeah, and honestly, you can say the same of the Isotopes, who, they've been. We talked with your teammate Kyle Karros a couple weeks ago, and it's been tough sledding for the Topes over the last couple seasons and this season as well. But over the last couple series, we've really seen, a lot of this rising talent coming to the Isotopes, yourself included, and games are feeling more competitive. Games are feeling like, yeah, the Topes have a shot at this, and that's just the kind of thing that, even if necessarily you're not going to make the postseason this year, that's the kind of thing that you want to see, whether it's from your first round guys or your undrafted guys.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, I mean, this place is weird because of the altitude. It's one of those spots where, especially early on. I mean, you look at yesterday's game. Mason gave up 3 in the first, I think, and then he battled back. He gave up 0 after that for the next 5 or 6. So good job to him. But it's one of those spots where you can go down, 5 or 6 early, and you can either throw in the towel or you can, come to realize that, a 5 or 6 run lead at this park is not that big of a deal. My first week, I remember we were like 9th inning up 5, and you still have that feeling like, oh, we got to get out of this. Make sure, nothing goes crazy. I feel like haven't been to Denver, obviously, but I heard they say it's the same thing. You could one bad inning could be 5 or 6, and that could be the difference. And that goes for both teams. And it's so being able to have that home field advantage, know how to use it. But like I said, having our pitchers become more accustomed to that, be able to figure that out, that's the important part.
And it's definitely like that here in Denver. I don't know if you saw on Friday the Rockies versus the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, yeah.
Down by 9 before they even got a chance to swing the bat. Ended up winning in walk-off fashion, a 17-16 final score. And that's kind of what makes baseball at altitude kind of magical, because you never want to say pitching's not important, but because of course it is. But there are just so many factors that go into what wins a ball game up here, and it just can get absolutely wild. And that's where all of these different skill sets are so important, because you need your mashers, but you also need your guys who are going to scurry around the base path fast as possible. You need a guy who's going to lay out in center field to steal a runaway that maybe would have popped through on a different player. And as a wise old baseball sage once said, whatever happens, that's baseball.
Absolutely.
But as we ring out time here with you, Braiden, we always like to ask some of the more fun things, get to know you a little bit. But when you're not playing baseball, what makes Braiden Ward tick? What fills up your free time when you're not swinging the bat, whether in the off season or you just during the season?
So during season, I'm pretty much playing video games, FaceTiming friends, hanging out, watching my anime. I'm on the One Piece grind right now. I'm 150 episodes in, almost caught up to 1,200. Off season, it's elk hunting, duck hunting, fishing, getting outside, being dumb, doing stupid stuff, just legal stuff, and just getting to live the best life. You go on vacation here and there, get to do all the fun things you miss during baseball season. We kind of joke about it all the time, like during season. We'll go to a movie, and it'll feel like the craziest thing in the world because you get to do something normal because our schedule is so crazy. So yeah, just go out.
What have you been playing lately? What's your go-to game you've been playing?
Oh, so I'm on PC, so I'm better than most people.
There you go.
I'm not doing that Xbox or PlayStation stuff. I'll play my Call of Duty here and there. But I'm a real gamer, so it's Valorant, CS:GO, Escape from Tarkov, the big stuff, the cool stuff.
There you go.
Well, that means you haven't seen then that they have added you to MLB The Show. There is a Braiden Ward card.
I've heard. My friends will Snapchat me or text me and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're in the show," and I'm like, "Why am I a 55 overall?"
The harder part, it's not even the numbers for me, it's the faces.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like you see the face of a minor league player and you're like, they could have just Googled it.
Yeah.
Like there are pictures available.
Yeah, like,
and it's even the big league players.
Oh yeah, I remember I saw one. I forget who it was. It was a baseball player, and he's a white guy, right? Like as white as you and I, all three of us. And he looked black on the game, and we're all just like that's so off. Like, oh, it was just funny. Like they really suck at their job. Like I said, let's get some AI going. It's not that hard.
Even just like, I know they've got that face scan technology or whatever. It's been in games for a while. If I pull Hunter Goodman in MLB The Show, I expect him to look like Hunter Goodman at least a little bit.
I think I took him until the. I think I saw my photo in the show and I looked fat. I'm like, I'm a $170. Oh yeah, my profile says I'm 5'9", 160. We did change that somehow because I'm 5'10", 170. Can we get these facts straight?
Yeah. And every inch counts on this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they posted something about the Isotopes outfield. Everyone's like 6'3" to 6'5", and then it has me at 5'9". I'm like, guys, come on, cut me some slack. I'm 6 foot in cleats. Come on.
You got it, especially with the spikes.
Yes, that's why I wear Mizunos. Extra like inch and a half.
Get the extra height from the Mizuno spikes. Braiden, another question we like to ask people. Desert island situation. It's you and one teammate. You got to survive. Who you bringing with you?
I'm taking Kyle Karros just because I want to see him panic. Like he's not gonna be any help, but enjoy, like comical. You know what I mean? I'll have to be the sane one and lock it in, as he's gonna drink the salt water, eat some bad berries. I don't know. It's just gonna be fun. We'll probably both die in a week, but you know what? We'll have fun doing it.
I can't remember who Kyle said when we asked him. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure he said you, but for the opposite reason of you'd probably be able to lock it down while I couldn't figure stuff out.
That's awesome. And real quick, biggest fish you've ever caught?
You want to see? I got it on my phone right here.
Ooh,
it was Montana State Fish of the Month. It was rainbow, or it was I think 31 inches. Brown trout. Took me 25 minutes to get it in.
Oh dang!
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, for our audio listeners, this is one big fish.
That is a very large fish.
And the tiniest shorts on Braiden.
Right? I mean, what's funny is
you got to be able to move quickly in the water.
Oh yeah. Oh, and that photo too. Was I wearing the? Oh, and I wasn't wearing my headband. So I go to Montana all the time. It's all these old school, Montana boys, and they all got their waders on. They're all judgy as heck. They hate any guys with a mullet or with short shorts or my rainbow. I have a rainbow trout like headband that I wear, and so they all get upset with me. They're like, this guy, go back to California. And then I just rip these massive fish, and they get even more angry. It's so much fun.
I'd love to know what Charlie Blackman's opinion would be. Charlie's got that. He's got the mix though, because he's got the mullet and the huge beard. But then he's also out there in the waders. He's like that perfect mix.
Oh yeah. Well, he's also got more money than God, so he can do what he wants.
That's fair.
Yeah. If you're Chuck Nasty, yeah.
Have you had a chance to? I know Charlie's been a special assistant to the general manager this year. Have you had a chance to meet up with him at all during spring training or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I've had my fair share of run-ins with him and hanging out and doing stuff. I remember my first run-in. It was kind of cool because obviously these big leaguers are just like you and me. And so we're at spring training and we're all like in the cold tub or whatnot. And he's on the phone and he's like, "Man, I gotta find a babysitter for me and my wife to go out tonight." And part of me wanted to be like, "I'll do it." Obviously, I didn't. I just kept my mouth shut, didn't say anything. But I was like, "Wow,
I'll do."
He's just like all of us.
I'll do it for you, Mr. Nasty.
Yeah, sure. tell the GM about me. Hopefully, he can get my name right. My favorite thing ever was my first or second year at spring training. Bill Schmidt's like, "What's up, Brandon?" I'm like, "Close enough."
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Got the first 2 letters right.
Yeah,
Counts.
exactly.
I mean, it's only the guy who drafted you.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I'm just the 16th rounder. I'm just a fast guy.
Hey, the fast guys are important, like we said.
Hey, like I said, I'm making my name for myself, so I'm sure he knows, at least my first name now.
I would certainly hope so, especially with everything you've been up to recently. And we're hoping that more people are going to be learning your name, not only through hopefully listening to our show here, but just watching you down in AAA, especially with all the games being able to watch on the streaming service now has been such a boon for being able to watch all the minor leaguers. It's been an absolute blast. And here's hoping, Braiden, we're definitely pulling for you to see you maybe up here in Denver as soon as this year, but we would love to see you.
I appreciate it. Gonna be a fun ride.
Alrighty. And at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Well, Braiden, we appreciate you joining us so much here on Rocky Mountain Rooftop, a Rooftop Mingle session. Thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you next time.
Appreciate you. See you, boys.
This has been Affected by Altitude, a Colorado Rockies podcast with Rocky Mountain Rooftop, a proud affiliate of the Fans First Sports Network. Catch new episodes every Monday on wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Be sure to follow us on YouTube as well for video versions of the show.